welcome back to Emi Kitchen Cooking Channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how we made our Osechi feast for this New Year's. Osechi is a big feast that you are supposed to eat with your family on New Year's Day. And it's as traditional as Japanese cooking can get. For Osechi, a lot of the dishes have meaning behind why we eat it. For example, this one here, the lotus root, it's got lots of holes in it as you can see, so the idea is that you can see through to the other side, which will give you good fortune for the rest of the year. Another thing with Osechi cooking is that everything has to be very beautiful and elegantly presented because that's how you start the new year. So what my mum's doing here is making the lotus root into little lotus root flowers, so they're much more prettier to the eye. This dish is known as kobumaki. Now I didn't know this until I looked it up for myself, but the kelp that I'm using is actually kombu, but the dish is kobumaki because it's kind of a pun. The word to be happy is yorokobu. So the idea is if you eat a kobumaki to start your new year, you'll be having lots of good fortune. I honestly feel Osechi is full of lots of puns like this. Anyway, traditionally in Japan we wrap the kombu with a fish known as nishin. But we don't have this in Australia, so we're using little burdock roots instead. Notice the white string things that I've been using as almost like a shoelace to tie up my kobumaki with. Surprisingly, apparently it's originally a type of fruit. Apparently it's peeled to be very long and thin, and then they dry it out and it becomes this amazing shoelace tying device for making your osechi food with. I think the only other time that I've seen kampyo being used in Japanese cooking would be on top of a chirashi sushi. It's often eaten on Girls' Day, which is on the 3rd of March in Japan. Moving on to another dish for our osechi, we've got some duck breasts for us this year. Just searing the fat there so it becomes nice and crispy later. We started to cook through our kobumaki and cook our duck breast up as well. We're adding foil onto the kobumaki because we don't have what's known as a otoshibuta, which would literally translate to a dropped lid. A dropped lid in Japanese cooking is to prevent what you're cooking from losing its shape, from bumping into each other, and it also is supposed to help with getting the flavor distribution across it equally. This dish here now that you're seeing is part of the kurikinton dish. This is basically the dessert dish within an osechi. It's basically mashed up Japanese sweet potato. We didn't have the proper coloring ingredient that we're supposed to use in Japan, so we used turmeric instead to get that yellow hue, and it actually turned out really well. There's a sweet chestnut in the center which gets wrapped in this sweet potato mash. I'm just using a wet dishcloth here just to get the shaping correctly, including with a little pattern there. We decided since we had so many pieces of the sweetened chestnut that we would add them on top as well. Very deluxe serving of kurikinton. You can tell it's one of our favorite dishes, as even though there's only 3 of us eating this year, we I think ended up with like 20 of these little sweet potato balls. Kobumaki are looking amazing as well after simmering away for around 30 minutes. The duck breast has also soaked up all that flavor in the sauce, which we're now going to let rest in a Ziploc bag overnight. From here is actually day 2 of osechi cooking. But in editing the osechi videos, I decided to put all the cooking ones into one video, and I'll have the packing of the osechi box again in a part 2 video as well. This dish here is known as a ika no matsukasani, ika being cuttlefish, and matsukasani, matsu mean pine, like a pine cone. And you know how it's got all those little seedlings that's, I guess, on the side of it? So the way we're cutting it is supposed to resemble that of a pine cone. So I guess the pun or the saying of it is that if you eat this, that you're gonna have really good fertility. Black beans have been resting overnight and have acquired this beautiful glossy appearance. Apparently these beans are basically just a black soybean, but whatever it is that gives the black bean the color it does, are full of antioxidants and are really good for anti-aging as well. A great way to start the new year, I guess. And we're back to the cuttlefish dish. You gotta sear it from the, I guess, pattern side down first to really get that pine cone appearance going. In hindsight, I really should have waited for the sauce to caramelize a little bit more before letting those cuttlefishes out of the pan. But I guess it was my first time making it, so there's always next year. And here we're now off making our chikuzeni dish. Always loved this dish. I remember in Japan I got asked what my favorite dish was, and I replied that it was this dish here, the chikuzeni, which made the guy crack up laughing because, I mean, especially with my halfy appearance, I think he was expecting me to say something like a steak or a hamburger or something, but I really love this chikuzeni dish. It's just really traditional Japanese yummy dish. The dish starts to look really nice and cooked, we can add in our prettier flowers. They're supposed to resemble a flower from a palm tree, which is apparently good luck in Japanese culture. We're just going to let this simmer now for the next 30 minutes or so, and this dish will be done. This must be the part that's really grossed me out this year from making Osechi cooking all together. These are known as tokobushi. It's kind of like the cousin of an abalone, and honestly, despite how it looks, it is one of the best parts of Osechi to eat. Anyways, that's it for the preparation part of Osechi cooking. I'll upload part 2 in next week's video. Again, many thanks for watching. Please let me know in the comments below any future ideas.